Captain Benkai's Log, Stardate 30626.5. Our attempts to contact GungHo about the Trails in the Sky remake not getting a GOG release have been met with utter silence, despite the fact that it has received a large amount of votes for it on the GOG Dreamlist page. Even more troubling is that the creator of the Trails series, Nihon Falcom, have announced a sequel to the remake, but it's still being published by GungHo, with no signs that they'll alter course to release the game on GOG. Federation intelligence has reason to believe that the DRM fleet, led by an unknown starship that goes by the name Steam, is responsible for blocking our communications with either company. We've been ordered to rendezvous with a Federation task force aimed to strike at the heart of the DRM fleet and end their grip on the gaming industry for good.
Where are they?
You're right, Lieutenant. The fleet should have been here by now. Something's off.
Captain, Klingon bird of prey decloaking dead ahead.
Klingons? What are they doing here?
Captain, we are being hailed.
Put them on screen, Lieutenant.
On screen.
I am Brigadier Tok. State your name and purpose for being here.
I'm Captain Benkai of the USS Freedom. We're here to meet up with some Federation friends of ours to take on the DRM fleet. Perhaps the Klingons would like to join us for a most glorious battle.
But this is better than we could have hoped. There are no Federation warships in the area.
What?
There never were.
Captain, several enemy ships decloaking to starboard.
Ray shields, go to red alert. Ensign, give me a scan of the vessels.
Scan sequence initiated.
All officers to debrief.
Of course. The IKS Securom, Denovu, and Steam. This is the DRM fleet. It's been the Klingons all along.
Trouble follows Klingon, sir.
Indeed it does, Ensign. In the words of Admiral Akbar, it's a trap.
You cannot defeat us.
Wanna bet? Tactical, target the neck of that ship and sever that smug look off his face.
Target's hull has been breached, Captain.
Let's not stop there. Come about, Mark 169, finish him off.
Adjusting tactics. Aye, sir.
Suck on that, Securom.
Target destroyed.
Sir, message from the Klingons.
What is the meaning of this?
Dum-Dum say what?
What?
You actually said it. It looks like the Denovu captain really is a dumb ovu.
Petokjai! You knockjai sucking tukuk! I will tear out your eyes and feed them to your siblings!
This is just a guess, but I think I pissed him off. Evasive maneuvers.
Evading incoming torpedoes.
Shields are at 50%.
Time to teach this DRM ship not to mess with the Freedom. Ready a full volley of photon torpedoes. Prepare to fire as soon as he decloaks. On my mark. Fire!
Klingon Vorcha has been destroyed. Yes! I'm going to take over the...
Our shields have failed.
Trying to keep us in one piece, Captain.
Main power is offline.
Damage report.
Weapon systems are offline.
Our impulse engines have been disabled.
Captain, we have hull breaches on multiple decks.
Incoming transmission. Audio only.
I know that voice. Is that Gowron?
You have sided against us in battle, and this we do not forgive or forget.
They destroyed our warp engines, Captain.
Your shields have been weakened, and more Klingon ships are on their way. Surrender while you can.
Guess there's no running away today.
Your orders, sir.
Open to channel all frequencies. I've got some things to say to Steam, GungHo, Falcom, and anyone else out there in the entire galaxy willing to hear me out.
Sending emergency transmission.
Listen to my story. This may be our last chance.
We shall see.
He's gonna stare at me the whole time like that, isn't he?
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Hi, I'm Benkai. Hope you all enjoyed that little Trekkie battle against the evil machinations of the DRM forces. Sadly, the real fight has been going just about as badly because the situation with Trails in the Sky has gotten worse. What I said in the beginning of the video is true. The Sky second chapter remake won't be getting a GOG release, just like the first chapter, and once again, it is being published by GungHo. In their infinite wisdom, they've decided to stick only with Steam to sell the PC release of Nihon Falcom's magnum opus title. And we all know that Falcom has nothing against GOG, because they've had NIS America release Trails Beyond the Horizon and Ys 10, Proud Nordics, on GOG. Falcom also released their crossover game Ys vs. Trails onto GOG, but instead of publishing with NIS, they went with Refent Games. Well, Refent clearly has no problem with GOG, and neither does any other publisher that Falcom has used to release any of their games. GungHo is the first and only company to not release a Falcom game on the DRM-free platform. Now, I've heard that since Falcom has been making the PC build of the Sky Remakes themselves, instead of outsourcing it like with their previous titles, that they didn't have the expertise to create a totally new build for the GOG store. Well, I'm here to tell you,
That doesn't make sense.
all that is required to get the game onto GOG is to take out the Steamworks DRM and put it up for sale. That's all you gotta do. And I can prove that it isn't hard because the pirates cracked the Steam DRM out of the game within the first day it was available to purchase from Steam. So a DRM-free build already exists out there in the wild if y'all want to use that to sell on GOG. Pirates did your job for you.
You're welcome then.
Now, since my last video about this subject, the GOG Dreamlist for Trails in the Sky has received just under 5,000 votes. That's about as many people who were playing the game concurrently on Steam at the peak of its release. And the newly added entry for Sky Second Chapter has already surpassed 1,000 votes. So clearly there is plenty of interest for these games on GOG. A couple of my friends even emailed GungHo directly with these numbers, and this is what GungHo replied with. Thank you for contacting GungHo Online Entertainment America. We appreciate your interest for Trails in the Sky First Chapter. We understand that you wish to do your purchase from GOG.com. While we cannot guarantee specific updates based on individual feedback, please know that your request will be forwarded to the appropriate department for consideration. Thank you for your understanding and cooperation. That's corporate speak for buzz off.
Corporate cards.
I do not know what GungHo has against GOG. Ever since they pulled their one and only game, Grandia 2, off of the GOG storefront, they haven't so much as made a peep about this popular DRM-free store. It's possible that they weren't getting the sales that they expected and decided to focus exclusively with Steam. Which brings me to this GOG AMA that was hosted on Reddit, where one of my friends asked about the possibility of getting GungHo to release the remakes onto GOG. And the response was clear. Yes, votes on Dreamlist work in our advantage, but also so do sales of other titles in the series. Because this is the first thing the publisher will ask us about, when you support your favorite IPs on GOG, you show you care about the presence of other games from the IP on the platform.
Light bulb.
That's it! That's how we'll get the Sky Remakes onto GOG! By buying all of Nihon Falcom's other games from GOG. By voting with our wallets, we'll show Falcom that there is still a major interest in their titles being released without any of that nasty DRM on the GOG. They'll see the uptick in sales and be like, hey, why ain't GungHo releasing our masterpiece on this hot PC store? Falcom will either drop GungHo entirely or force them to release the games there. And this ain't just for the Sky Remakes, because another new Falcom game called Kyoto Xanadu was recently announced for PC, but hasn't been assigned a publisher yet. We've got to show Falcom that we want to support publishers that release on GOG. So let's reward them by buying all of their games from GOG and see if we can get featured on the bestseller list on GOG's homepage. And for those of you that already own every single Falcom game on GOG, I salute you. But that doesn't mean you still can't help out, because you can purchase gift copies of all these games and give them to your friends. Or perhaps consider donating your gift copy to the GOG Community Giveaway, the longest running giveaway in the history of the GOG forums. Full disclosure here, I am the current host of the Community Giveaway, going on 3 years now. Folks come by and drop off their GOG gift codes into my PM box, and I list the available games in the OP of the giveaway thread. However, not just anybody can request gifts from this thread. Only active and positive members of the GOG community can request games from this giveaway. So that means anyone who requests a Falcom game has a potential to become another fan of the Trails series and another advocate for bringing future titles to GOG. I mean, that's sort of what happened with me. I knew nothing about this series, but was kindly gifted a GOG copy of the Sky trilogy and have been hooked ever since. That's why I'm making this video now, to try and bring awareness about this series to my audience and to work towards getting these remakes available to my fellow Godbuddites. And to kick things off with this buy drive for Falcom games, I'm donating a copy of the original Trails in the Sky first chapter to the community giveaway. It is my hope that the future recipient of my code ends up loving it as much as I have. And if you do end up getting it, be sure to check out this guy's tutorial video on how to add Japanese voice acting from the PS Vita version to the PC GOG version. Really cool stuff. And if you too would like to donate a GOG code for a Falcom game, then look for the link to my PM box in the description below and drop off your code in my message box. Please note that you may have to change your chat settings to public in order to contact me, since GOG defaults to having everyone's chat settings set to private. With all this talk about GOG and all, many of you are probably wondering why it even matters so much to release the game there. I'll tell you why. Freedom. Freedom to choose how I wish to play my game. Freedom to play with cheats and mods and not have DRM sneak its way in an update. Freedom to back up my game to my hard drive so that I may reinstall it however many years later that I choose, knowing that no company can take it away from me, ever. Steam lets you back up your games too, but requires a callback to the Steam servers anytime you want to reinstall it. Not GOG. I could be stranded on a deserted island and still install my game on my PC. Why I do that instead of finding a way off the island is another question entirely. But I digress. Sure, a lot of folks want achievements and cloud save functionality, but I just want to be able to back my game files up so that I can have them in my arms forever. So, Galron, you may win this fight against freedom today, but you will lose the war, because we will never surrender. Never give up.
Ah!